Good morning to you all students. Last time we have seen essay writing. Now you see here essay writing 1B, page number 674, and here question number 1B. Already I have told you in the class, write a composition of 3 to 350 words on any one of the following. Say in the classroom, at home, you can write on all the topics. That is very good. Now see here, question number 1B. Boarding schools are better than day schools for all-round education of a child. Express your views either for or against this statement. Now see here, boarding schools. I will explain to you what the question you can say is asking. Boarding schools can say a hostel. Those who you can say stay in the hostlers are called, you can say, of course, boarders. So boarding schools, they are schools which have hostels where boys stay, and also for girls separately, girls also stay there. That is called, you can say, boarding schools are better than day schools. Are better than, you can say, day schools. Day schools, you can say, you have only students go to, you can say, school. They go from home, they go to school, and they will study. They study, and then they will come back in the evening. But see here, for the all-round education of a child, boarding schools are, you can say, very good, because at home you may not have, you can say, that much, you can say, of course, facilities. Facilities means you will be asked to do this work by your parents, your brother, your sister. Okay, there will be, you can say, a lot of disturbances. Okay, will be there, you can say, at home. At home, you can say, you will not have, you can say, of course, very good friends. So at home, you can say, it's not, you can say, considered, you can say, here the best one. All the, you can say, students, not only, you can say, in school level, but in college level also, they prefer to stay, you can say, in the hostel. Some of the students, they come from, you can say, home, they go to school, they go to college, they study. But boarding schools are, you can say, very good. There you can say, you have so many boys, so many, you can say, activities. You have prayer, you can say, in the morning. Okay, you have to take, you can say, food at, you can say that food, you can say, on time, and breakfast, you can say, in the morning. Then you have to take lunch, you can say, here, you can say, everything will be, you can say, done, you can say, in the time. But at home, you do it, you can say, your work leisurely. You feel like studying, you will study. When you feel like studying, you will, you can say, study. When your parents, you can say, will force you will study. But in the hostel, okay, say, when the time, you can say, when the bell rings, you have to be ready, you can say, with your textbooks and notebooks, and you can say, you have to study. When there is time, you play. When there is time, you can say, you take rest. When there is time for recreation, that is entertainment, okay, you are allowed to, you can say, watch TV, and you are given time for home tasks and so on. So you say boarding schools. Many, you can say, students prefer, you can say, boarding schools. You can say very good. And here you can say food is very good. Okay, you can take food, you can say, as much as you can say you want, and you feel, you can say, as if you can say you are staying, you can say, at home. Okay, regarding food, no problem. And study wise also, you can say, very good. And here varieties of the students you will have. Some of them, you can say, will be good, you can say, different things you can learn from him. For example, someone, you can say, speak, you can say, in particular subject. Okay, he will be, you can say, helped by other students, those who are, you can say, very good. Okay, many of them, you can say, will be very good at studies. Okay, good at physics, mathematics, physics. Okay, then you can say English. So you can say students, you can say, help each other. They sit together and study. So this environment, you can say, is, hostel. Hostel students, you can say, do much better, and they are more, you can say, disciplined. So boarding schools are, you can say, preferred, because you have, you can say, It is because you have, you can say, so many facilities, so many, you can say, of course, students, and you have, you can say, of course, ground to, you can say, play in the evening. You can get up early in the morning, and of course, you can say, you can go for exercise, you can go for jogging, and after that, you can say, become fresh, take bath and sit and study. Then okay, get ready, have breakfast, and then come to, you can say, school. So boarding schools are better than day schools for the all-round education of a child. For all-round education of a child. If you stay at home, then all the time parents, you can say, will be telling you that, you can say, will do. You will be asking always, you can say, you will be asking your mother, or you can say your father. But in the hostel, okay, you have, you can say, as you can say here, hostel superintendent, you can say, will of course announce all those things. Okay, here all whatever you can say, I mean, announcements are to be made. Okay, you are, you can say, informed. Announcement, you can say, is made, and you can say you have to follow. Okay, from morning, okay, till morning, everything you can say, do, you can say, on time or in time. So this thing, you can say, is very good. Boarding schools are better than day schools for the all-round education of a child. In the hostel, you get more time to study. Other all-round, you can say, development. How you can say, you have to act, interact, you can say, now you can say, of course, your friends and other boys. So here not only one thing you can say studies, but you can say all-round you can say education of a child. Okay, so I have explained to you. Now see, in free time, you will, you can say, write. You will, you can say, write essay, you can say our composition on this topic, and when you can say school reopens, okay, you will submit your notebook. So for this I have told you, see, boarding schools are better than, you can say, day schools for the all-round education of a child. Here see, in this language, you can say, of course, is a scene. Beauty of the language, and you can say here your flow of the language. How you represent your thoughts on the paper. In fact, you are supposed to use short sentences. Short sentence, so that, okay, there will not be any confusion. The reader, you can say, will read and understand, you can say, easily. And when you can say flow of the language, beauty of the language, you will score very good marks. And handwriting, neat and clean. Okay, now see here. Next question, you can say, you will write, you can say, on this, either for or against this statement. Some of the students, okay, they can say like to stay at home, they can say don't like, you can say here staying away from this home, they say we don't get homely food, we can say nobody is there, you can say like parents or brothers or sisters. So those things will be, you can say, at home. If you are willing to write against it, you can write, you can say against, of course, you can say against a given statement. Now see, we are going to question number 2. In question number 2, of course, you have to write, you can say, a letter. Here you have to write letter. See here, select one of the following. You are suffering from chicken pox. Write an application to your principal requesting him to grant you leave for 2 weeks. Now see, there are, you can say, 2 kinds of, you can say, letters. One, you can say, is formal, where you are writing to, you can say, principal, where you are writing to, you can say here, you can say office, to any, you can say, officer, SDM office, or you can say DM office, or you can say to minister. That you can say is formal. It will go to office, and formal letter should be, you can say, to the point, straightforward. You don't have to, you can say, describe this and that. Whatever, you can say, problems you have, okay, you have to just now, it's write down, you can say, on the paper in your application. That is called formal. And one more, you can say, is informal. Informal, you have like writing, you can say letter to, you can say, your father, your mother, or you can say to your sister or to your brother or to your friend. That will be informal. Informal, you can write, you can say, of course, quite a number of pages. You can write 1 page, 2 pages, 3 pages, like that. Now see here, there are, of course, two formats. One is box type. Okay, two types of, you can say, letters, you can say, you have to, of course, keep in mind. First of all, you can say you have box method, box type format, and then you can say you have traditional format. Traditional format, everything you can say, of course, everything will be, you can say, written like address and all that, you can say, on the right side. See here, this one you can say is a box type. This is, you can say, traditional format. Here in traditional format, you can say address, and you can say here say your subscription, you can say, will be written right side. But here say in box type, everything will be left side. Now see, I will, you can say, just write here. You can follow any you can say, of course, any format, traditional format, or you can say box type format. Now see here, what the question is asking, you are suffering from chicken pox. So you can say, see, you have to write, you can say, your address here, right side. For example, you can say right here. Okay. Now, then you can write section. You can write section, okay. Then see. Roll number you can write. Roll number 6. Then you have to write here. East Sikkim, then see here, so your address should be written right side. Okay, now see here, format is given here. So you have to write here, you can see here, your address. Then you write, you can see here. Here we write capital F. This capital F, you can say, father is written for the principal, for holy fathers. For the small f, for your father. Alright, now say dear father. So you have to, can say, mention, you can say here, subject. Dear father, see here, you are suffering from chicken pox. Write an application to your principal requesting him to grant you leave for 2 weeks. So you have to write only, you can say, short application. You are going to have to request, you can say, father principal to, you can say, grant you leave for 2 weeks because you are suffering from chicken pox. Only this one. The small pox, you can say, it was quite dangerous, big, okay, on the body, you can see that you can say it was some wound was taking place. But the chicken pox, you can say, it's a small, and that you can say it is cured. But that was, you can say, many people died those days. when you can say there was a smallpox. Chickenpox now is not that dangerous, but if a person is suffering from chickenpox, if a student is suffering from chickenpox, okay, he should be or she should be granted leave. Now see here. You can mention your name, or you can not mention also, and write straight away class of another page, the address is given. Chickenpox. Straightforward. Since I am suffering from chickenpox, I will not be able to come to the school for 2 weeks. Now see here, you have to write. Okay.